the warlord was stunned to discover that his son, who had been in a coma for 5 years, suddenly opened his eyes right after a little girl he had just adopted held his hand. After the doctor completed a full examination, he stated that for full recovery, they needed a wild ginseng that had grown for 100 years. The warlord searched all over New York, but couldn't find a single clue. Yet the little girl simply asked a bird in the yard, and the next second, the bird led her to a patch of grass and pointed out the exact spot. Sure enough, beneath it was a 100-year-old ginseng. At that moment, the warlord realized that ever since the little girl entered the house, everything had started going incredibly well. What he didn't know was that the girl had a karmic lucky koi constitution. Anyone who treated her kindly would be rewarded with good fortune. But she had grown up completely alone. Her uncle, desperate for money, had sold her to the warlord's family as a child bride, all because she was born on a snowy day and had a tear-shaped mole on her face. This reminded the warlord of something a great master once said, though he had never believed such things before. Still, seeing his unconscious son, he decided to give it a try and brought the girl home. The girl immediately promised to do chores and be useful, but instead of letting her work, the warlord took off his coat and gently placed it on her shoulders, saying from now on, her only task was to enjoy a good life. Whether his son woke up or not, he was going to raise the girl as his own. The girl looked at the sleeping boy and wished he could wake up and play with her. Just then she gently held his hand, and a golden light flowed from her to him. The next moment, his eyes opened. The doctor was in disbelief. After running tests, he said the boy only needed one more thing to fully heal: a wild ginseng over 100 years old. Later, in the luxurious room the warlord had prepared for her, the girl saw an injured bird. She gently blew a breath on it, and the bird healed instantly. When she heard the warlord needed ginseng, she went and asked the bird. The bird chirped and hopped to a spot in the garden. Under the grass was exactly what they needed. The maid didn't believe the bird could talk, but humored the child anyway, and was stunned when they actually dug out a rare century-old ginseng. With blessings constantly coming into the household, the warlord began to suspect this girl might truly be heaven-sent, so he doted on her even more, and took her everywhere. One day he brought her to a jade convention. She suddenly rushed to a raw stone, saying the green inside looked beautiful, and she wanted to give it to her brother. The warlord began to wonder if she could actually see through the stones. Just then someone nearby bought a piece and prepared to cut it open. The warlord asked the girl quietly if that one was pretty inside. She shook her head, and sure enough, the stone turned out to be worthless. Now completely convinced the girl had a gift, he asked her to help him pick stones to raise military funds. With her help, he quickly acquired a large batch of high-potential raw jade, but this attracted jealousy from a scheming woman. She had been trying to marry the warlord for years, but was always turned down. Now seeing him shower attention on the little girl, she grew resentful, and publicly accused him of spoiling the girl too much. To her surprise, the warlord fiercely defended the child. Furious, the scheming woman told her brother, who had long wanted to challenge the warlord's authority. He came with his men, and demanded a jade cutting competition to see who could pick the best stone. The warlord originally didn't want to bother, but after repeated provocations and insults, he finally agreed. Both sides chose their stones. The scheming woman's brother picked his with the help of a jade master. The warlord